Hey yo, what is up YouTube? Isaac Miner bro, back today bringing you another crazy story time. And in today's story time, I don't want to faff around with any intros. I just don't really feel the need. I want to give you guys this quick, straight to the point story time. And yeah, before I get into this, all I want to say is please do subscribe if you enjoyed, leave a like, comment down below, and yeah, make sure you turn the bell notification so you get notified every time I post a banger video. And yeah, enough said, let's get straight into this and I hope you enjoy. Okay guys, so today's story is a pretty wild one, and it's basically about the time my dad went savage mode, but I'm going to tell you a bit of like a backstory before I get into the full juicy information. Okay guys, so this story time actually took place around 6 or 7 years ago maybe now. I'm not really too sure, it was a while ago. I can't remember dead on the time, but I remember around the corner from me, there used to be this just idiotic guy and just this stupid ass family. I'm not even going to lie. Basically, there was a mom and the dad was a taxi driver or something like that. I'm not going to mention any names just because I've forgot the names mainly, and I just don't want to give out anyone's private information. So there was a mom who would stay at home, look after the kids or whatnot. They had a dad who was a taxi driver, a disabled son, and they had this other son as well, which was a bit younger. The disabled son was a bit older. So this disabled son would always like come out, and at the time, about 7 years ago, I was probably around 11, yeah, about 10 or 11, and there was this guy who would play with me. Like, I know this kind of sounds weird, but like he'd come out with me and we'd just like play around the block and stuff. We was kids, you know, but he wasn't a kid. I'd play with his brother who was 2 years older than me, so he was around 13, and the disabled guy who would get picked up every morning to basically go to this special school, he was around 16 and he was playing with 13 and 11-year-olds. Yes, doesn't that just scream nonce? Nah, but for real, like, this guy would always come out. So I can remember we were standing by the bush on the corner of like my road or block or whatever you want to call it, when this guy starts saying something like nasty stuff to me. He was with his brother and he just didn't agree with something that I said, and he just started being so nasty to me with his younger brother who was still older than me. I was 11 at the time, so I don't know what clicked in my head and made me actually want to do this, right? But there was a stick behind the wall and I had my foot on the wall, and I can remember the guy pushed me back like over the wall onto like this guy's garden, this old man's garden. So my foot was on this old man's garden there, and I can see this stick just behind the wall. So I'm kind of like trying to build a plan what I can do with this stick. I don't exactly know why I did this, but it was just crazy, okay? So the guy starts saying some mean stuff to me, being racist to me, saying, "Oh, look at you, little African dancing around the fire." And I'm like, okay, that is it. I'm not saying a word back to him. I pick up this stick. It's like a massive like log that's just, it's not like a really big log. It's a log, I'd probably say around the size of this, what I got on screen now. I pick that up with two hands, yes, and I swing it and smack him around the teeth with it. Like, I full on just go smack him, I don't care. And his teeth fall out, there is blood dripping from his mouth. He starts screaming. He's like, what have you done? What have you done? So because my house was so close and my mom was cutting the lawn at the time, I run onto my garden, and my mom was talking to like this neighbour who lived but one from us, so not the next door, the house next to that. And he was like an olderish guy, roughly in his 20s, around 21. He sees me running, I jump onto the garden, and the brother and the disabled guy who I smacked in the teeth with his stick because he was being racist actually comes to my house, like, and his brother who was younger was saying, "Oh, your son Isaac's just smacked my brother round the teeth." And the guy who was like talking to my mom, the guy in his 20s, because my mom spoke to a lot of neighbours back then, basically he said, "Well, he's obviously done that for a reason." And my mom shouts me, she's like, "Isaac, get back here," because I'm like running into the house. So I go into the house, and around 2 hours later, his dad comes round to my house and he's at the door. But at the time, his dad was saying some not nice things to my mom. So a week rolls round and my dad come round to my house, because at the time my dad didn't really live with me and he was off at work and stuff. My dad comes round to my house and my mom tells him the whole situation. She said there was this man here, he was calling me a whore, a slag, all them nasty words. So my dad's like, "Right, where do they live? where do they live? He was going savage mode, and when he says where someone lives, it's hard to explain. Okay, he's just not like anyone else I've ever met. Like, he will go insane, and I'm just saying that. Like, you might be thinking, oh, you're over exaggerating. No, I'm not. It's just he'll go to the point of something that not any other person would do. Okay, and it's just really hard for other people to understand because they probably don't have a parent that's like that. But my mom basically told him, oh my days, we followed him round. He literally got his boots on because he wears like these big black like leather boots. I don't know why, with like really like loose jeans. He walks round to their house. Basically goes, is this the door? Is this the door you said? Because my mom and me were there, and I said, yeah, that's the house. So we stand at the bottom of the drive, and all I see is my dad run up to this guy's door, or the mum's door, or their family's door, and go bang. And all my days, he fucking booted the door off the hinges. The door is off. Like, he went fully savage. Like, you know when you see police with them big massive like things to like knock doors, he went bang, and all I can hear is screaming. And literally my dad is in there. He's got the dad round the neck, and he's saying, what have you been saying to my girlfriend? What have you been saying? What has your son said to my son? What is he saying? If you wanna sort this out now, come out onto the fucking garden. Get your ass out to the garden now. And the Indian guy's literally like, no trouble. And he's like, get out now. Get out there now. And all my days, the man does not leave the house. And all I hear is the top door hinge, like it's hanging on by 1 inch, like hinge on the door. My dad runs out of the house, slams the door, and that's when it just fully drops off, and the guy's literally just standing there. He's looking at all of us. He's like actually scared. I was actually afraid, and my dad's like, come on. And then we just literally walked back around home. Like, he went full savage mode. He asked the guy like to sort it now, settle it now, because apparently that's how the older generation used to do it. To settle it now with a fight. The man was too much of a pussy. He never wanted to fight, so my dad just left it there. And yeah, they knew not to mess with us again, because anyone, if they try to say something, like they just know what's coming their way. Like, and I'm not trying to say that to be cocky or anything. I'm just saying that to just put it out there. But yeah, like, it's really hard to explain to people who are not in that situation. Like, yeah, you probably don't understand, but some of you may be able to. I don't know. I just want to leave the story there. But yeah, that was the time my dad went full savage mode, and that's not the worst time I saw him go savage mode anyway. But yeah, I don't think I've told a story about my dad before, and there's not really many because he doesn't really, like, yeah, it's hard to explain, it's complicated. But anyways, I'm going to end it here. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, turn the bell notification on, and I'll see you in the next story for a banger. Peace!